My friend Toast Dark here. I was talking to friends people. And I had a thought while I was in the bath. I wanted to make a video before I forgot it. Okay, so here's the thought. Fucking goddamn it. Alright, so here's the thought. Look, the point is, metaphysical space, or the metaphysical plane, so to speak, is the plane of time. And on the plane of time, without the interference of physical objects, time moves freely as it should, fluidly. You can go backwards in time, you can go forwards in time, you can replay a given action multiple different ways. All that kind of stuff is possible. That's conditionality. That's the explanation of conditionality. Conditionality is relationships between agents and objects that is removed from a consideration of physical objects themselves and how they are affected by the actual passage of time in the physical realm. So, given that conditionality is time by itself. Time that allows you to go, well, if A then B. Well, what about if C? Okay, now let's pretend it was if A then not B. That's showing you how time's irrelevant. But you already did if A then B. So you can't possibly do if A then not B. Well, that's true, but we decided to erase that bit of history there and say, now let's pretend it wasn't that and try something else. That's what conditionality allows you to do. Causality certainly does not. Now let's talk about the physical realm. Within the physical realm, objects are defined to the extent to which they are not subject to conditionality. So you've got a rock is whatever it is, weighs 10 pounds. Not if this, if that, if whatever. You can say all those things, but it won't change the fact that it weighs 10 pounds when you go to apply it in the physical world. You can argue as much as you want about how come it doesn't weigh 10 pounds, really. But at the end of the day, it will still weigh 10 pounds when you weigh it later on and you need to know the weight for something. So, causality requires time to make a decision and stick with it. And that's why we can't go back and forwards in time, because that's the definition of what the physical realm does, is it constrains time in that fashion. One other important thought in all of this that I wanted to get across, which is, one thing, people tend to think of conditionality as being an approximation of how things work in reality. But that's not the case at all. It's one half of reality. A half of reality that relates to agency, the meaning half of things. Agents are comprised entirely of their conditionality web, plus their legitimacy metric, plus their epistemology, well, put it this way, the complete conditionality web of an individual, the complete conditionality causality web of an individual is comprised of that individual's the interplay of the individual's epistemological action and legitimizing functions, you might call them. That which determines what's legitimate and illegitimate. So, the thing about that is, the key thing to note, now this is the takeaway of it. The key thing to note is this. in the plane of time, observation is not a force. Observation is, in fact, the occurrence of the physical and metaphysical worlds interaction. Observation doesn't work, doesn't do anything on the metaphysical plane, or rather, it operates under different principles. Observation on the metaphysical plane is not determinate. That's the key thing. Observation on the metaphysical plane is not determinate of anything. In fact, it has a systems impact rather than a binary impact, whereas observation is binary in the physical world. That is to say, that which is observed is supercollapsed, and that which is not yet observed does not exist. So, the point being, the metaphysical world, or the plane of time, is one in which it's like a safe mode, in which observation is the actual function of observation is turned off, and instead it is because the nature of the function of observation in space means that it's determinate, namely that it renders the observation subject to the laws of causality rather than conditionality. Thus, if one is to wish to engage in observation without being subject to the linear directionality of time once it comes into contact with space, then one will exist primarily in the plane of time. If you look at, for example, INTPs, on talking to those people, more so than me, more so than INTPs, they exist almost wholly in a time plane. They don't like being subject to causality at all. Why? Because they understand in their basic nature that when done properly, conditionality allows for all the realities of reality with none of the risks. That's why you can have INTPs who sit in front of the computer all day and you think, well, but they aren't doing anything. Fuck yeah, they're doing shit. They're busy as fuck on the metaphysical plane. In time world, they're busy as fuck. They just don't like their time world busyness to be subject to the barbaric and ham-fisted certainty of causality. So, fuck space objects. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People.